Good evening, everyone. Today's session is on domains of artificial intelligence. So, in our previous sessions, we have discussed about what are the three domains of artificial intelligence, and today I'm going to discuss about what are the applications that are like each of the domain is having. So, like starting with the domains, we have already discussed like there are three domains of AI. What are those? Data sciences, computer vision, and natural language processing. Right now, the type of data is going to analyze which domain is to be used. Like I want some processing in the language, so I might be using natural language processing, right? So with respect to the type of data fed in the AI model, AI models can be broadly categorized into these three domains. Like if we are working on what are the types of images, what are the objects in an image, it is going to identify the objects in an image, or some predictions, some comparisons needs to be made in the data set, so we might be using data sciences, right? So this is how AI domains are segregated into three parts according to the what type of data they are going to use. Now let us discuss one by one what are the applications that are related to each of the domain. Starting with the first domain, that is computer vision. Now in this image, the first thing is we have one image that is going to be processed, right? So we need to, the machine is going, we train the machine like these are the different objects. The machine is going to identify that like there are some trees, there are some cars, there are some flowers, there are some house, there are some a chimney, there are some stairs. So this is how we segregate the different objects into an image, and the input to the computer vision would be images and videos, right? So what type of data computer vision is going to take? That are images and videos, right? Now let us discuss some of the applications of computer vision. Like in this, I have already told you what kind of sign is this, where are the cars, how far is the building, what are the, there are different trees in this, what are the heights of the trees. So all these things are need to be considered in the computer vision. Now what are the other things we have in our computer vision? So it may be applied to safety. Like if we are moving on a road and we are just checking out, like I have discussed this example also, like we are moving on a express highway and there we met with an accident, right? So how the camera is capturing everything, right? And it is going to send the, it is going to identify like something mishappening has been done in, has been taken place over that express highway, and send some signals to the police authority. So this is one example. Or another example is like if the person is over speeding on the express highway, then obviously some challan needs to be generated. The system, the camera captures that particular number plate, and by NLP it is going to process the number plate or what is written on that number plate, and then automatically generates the challan. So one of the application of CV is safety. Now in healthcare we have seen like earlier we used to have some x-rays or some like ultrasounds. Nowadays this technology, like it is going to predict also, like according to the x-rays what could happen in future, right? So it is very very beneficial in healthcare sector. And Google works also, there are, it was introduced in China, like it is going to, it is outperforms, like how it replaces the 8 radiologist. Yes, the machine can work in place of 8 radiologists. We are not saying that by replacing the man with machines we are losing jobs, but it is more helpful. In other countries we don't have number of doctors, like this Google work that is developed in that country. There are less number of doctors, and there is a long queue for for the doctor is going to prescribe any medicine, or for routine checkup checkup also. So what they have decided is they have built in AI enabled machine, which is basically helping the people also, because the radiologist is that particular machine is replacing the 8 radiologists. So it reduces the burden of doctor also, right? In security purpose also, like I have shown you, I have just now I have discussed the example, like it maintains the security by having some cameras that is making some predictions. Then we have comfort, we have in entertainment sector also, we have AI enabled technologies. Then whatever we access, we have, it segregates automatically into different folders, like we are using Google Lens, right? Nowadays if I take photos, Google Photos segregate that particular photos into different albums, like this is my photo, this is my album, then another one is another album. So this is how it is maintaining the albums automatically. I have not segregated it automatically. The Google Photos segregate the photos into different folders. So these are some of the applications of computer vision. Then we have is optical character recognition. So it's a basically an image. Now this image is going to be like processed, and we can scan whatever is written into written on that doc, and it converts into text. Then when it converts into text, we can use NLP for reading out the content. Then we have is face detection, that just now I have discussed, like on Facebook, like on social media site, you may check out this thing, like this particular image. Now when just you add one image in the Facebook, it automatically give you suggestion, like you want to tag to that particular person who is in the picture. How it detects the faces, so it automatically detects the faces. So this is one of the feature of that. Then smile detection, you put you give the patterns of your images, the system is going to automatically gives you the output, like this image is of, you have captured some smiles. So this is how we are using AI systems like Google Photos, Google Lens. It automatically converts that picture into text, right? Then wherever we want to copy it, we can copy it. So it automate the process, right? So these are some examples of domains of AI only. Then we have object recognition. So we all of us are going to some mart or some shopping malls or some shopping e-commerce for, like, not e-commerce, basically we are going to have some uh, items, right? Now there is some barcoder, or there is something like that, which is going to recognize with the help of some images. Rather than coding the bar, it takes the image and gives you the price. So this is how it works. They, like this type of image is going to have, you need to process it, like what is the quantity of that particular uh, item, or you may say this particular images in your store. So the data set is to be maintained behind that. It is not recognizing miraculously, no. So it is how it is going to do with the help of data set only. So which type of data set? That is images. That's what I want to make you understand. When we are talking about computer vision, that means we are talking about images. Then we have smart cards. One of the in future, one of the widely used application is when we have smart cars. We have smart cars like Tesla. It is going to, like, it is moving on the road, and it is identifying the different objects that are surrounded by that car, right? And suppose, but only the issue come across us using such kind of systems is AI ethics, right? If that particular self-driving car is met with an accident, then who is going to be responsible? The person who is sitting behind that, who is sitting in the car, or the person who was, the person who is the victim, or the company who has developed the car, or the company who has branded that car. So there are number of points that needs to be taken, right, while we have that particular technology in hand. right? So these points, when we have, like earlier we were discussing, can robots have rights, fundamental rights? Because it's a machine, and later on we will see like these robots are very much helpful, why don't we give rights to them? So this is not possible actually. The person, the machine cannot work without human beings. We have particularly inserted, we have fed the, we have trained the machine actually, right? And accordingly also, like we have mobile versions. Today I am using some mobile version Y19, later on, or you may have iPhone 5, iPhone 15. Now expanded features are to be there, right? Same as with machines also, AI enabled machines also, you may expand the data set as well, right? Then we have Google cars. I told you, that is like approximating, that is basically giving you everything about the route information, about the price information. If you are moving into that, so it gives you number of advantages, right? It is going to identify different objects are surrounded by you, or you take like when you back your car, there are some ultrasonic sensors, like they tell you about the distance for about 40 meters from that particular car when you are taking back, right? So they are basically, it's a inbuilt technology. You may have AI enabled softwares, as well as when we talk about like hardware part, we may have to include the IoT concepts also, that is Internet of Things. The next part is, when we talk about AI, is natural language processing. Let us start with some of the applications of natural language processing. What is natural language processing? I have discussed this thing in my previous sessions also. When we want to make a machine to understand our inputs and going to provide us some answers, like if I'm going to, earlier we don't have such kind of machines, like I am talking to a machine and machine gives me answer, and that too are too accurate. Is it possible? Have anyone thought of that? No. How is it possible? Through AI only. Through the this is one of the application of artificial intelligence. So we have natural language processing, the we fed the data of different languages, we fed the data of different number of questions and answers, so that the machine is able to provide the, and automatically, like it is a learning based model also. By its, by having experience, it keeps on learning also. It is not rule based only. We can develop the rule based chatbots also, but there are number of machines like Google Assistant, or you may say Google Nest, or Alexa, number of assistants that are AI enabled, which provides us the answers, which provides us the result, right? So speech recognition machines are, it takes us speech and convert it into text. So these are some examples which I have just now discussed, like what are what all things can be have in a speech application, like text dictation. We can give any text dictation to the students, and it automatically converts into text, right? And the second thing is word processing. What is word processing? Earlier we don't have any predicted text or spelling, like checking the spellings, grammatical mistakes, or you may say there are different types of errors that we may face across while writing any document, right? Or we may face any pronunciation errors also, like we pronounce something different from what it is. Like everybody says poem. Now a student is going to tell a poem. It's not poem, it's poem, right? So everybody should know this thing, like what is the correct pronunciation, and we may use AI enabled tools for that also, right? Like Google Translate is one of the application of uh, NLP only, right? Then we have text prediction. Once I write anything on the Google Assistant, right? I'm typing anything on the Google Assistant. A single word, the next word, automatically it gives me the suggestion. You may be typing this word. It is going to predict it. Automatically it is giving me suggestions. it facilitate text dictation also. You might come across like you want to translate anything, you use the language and understanding software, like some like I am working with some MNC and that is using Chinese, right? So like I can't speak Chinese, I may be using the Google Translator. So I am speaking in English, and that particularly Google Translate is going to convert it in Chinese, and then we can basically communicate with each other. And the same process, vice versa process is done by the manager also. So what we are doing actually, we are using the technology only. And this is when we talk about the processing of language, processing of text, it is one of the application of AI only. Next we have is dialect systems. So earlier we have ERPs, we have you have some feeded information and it is going to provide the that type of particular answer, right? But nowadays what we are using is dialect systems. The companies are using dialect systems which generates the responses keeping in mind like what the user is asking, right? Like you are just giving the speech to that particular machine and the machine is going to give you the answer, right? So this is not only for some organization. Most of the organizations are using such kind of machines, because like in pandemic we have faced across like people are not coming to offices. No, they have to like have some solution for that. Like we need a person that is going to provide the answers. Now earlier what we used to do is just to forward the call to that particular person, right? But nowadays we have a dialogue based system which is going to provide each and every answer to the customer. Then we have is automatic summarization, right? Now let me give you a brief introduction to automatic summarization. One of the application, suppose I have a book and that book is two of like 100 pages. I need to complete it within 5 days. So it's much like reading 100 pages daily. I need to read some of the pages to complete that book. I have a burden to complete that book, right? Then I will be making the summary out of it. Ki, this page tells you about this. These are some this thing. What is this tool is doing? It is going to read out all the pages within few seconds, identifying the keywords from each page and make a summary out of it. So this is the advantage of this tool. It may be abstract based, it may be extract based. That depends on which type of summary you need. So there are different types of summaries. If you have data sets that are related to some numeric values, indicative versus informative, abstract based, extract, generic based, query generated, background based, just the news, single document based, multiple documents. So these are the types of like selecting the summary. What type of summary you want, the system is going to provide that type of summary. So it's really a helpful tool when we are using such kind of application. Then we have text mining. What is text mining? It is very much similar to that is this thing, summary abstraction, right? Why? Because like in this also we are mining, we are just extracting the text from the document, and that too is of like some important keywords are fetched out from that particular document and it gives you some meaning, right? So these are what, these are the examples of natural language processing. Let us discuss the third domain of AI, that is data science. And like most of the people are using this using the applications of data science. Suppose I'm giving one example. I'm going from Delhi to Noida daily. I'm using Google Maps. It is going to provide me like by following this route, this much traffic is there. By following this route, this much traffic is there. Earlier, this type of application we have, earlier we had used. No. Now this is the facility, you may say this is a facility that are, these are the services that are provided by AI enabled machines. The second thing I am going to tell you about the comparison of prices. Like suppose I am going to a website and it is like price comparison, or you may say Shopzilla, Jungly. There are a number of websites which provides you number of things, right? So how we are taking the information, like suppose I want to buy some policy, so I may be going to policy bazaar. At the same time I am getting all the things, like I need to just feed my information for 5 years. Need to put my money, and after 5 years this particular company is giving you this much profit, this particular company will be going to give you this much profit, and so on. So how is it possible? How it makes predictions with the help of some huge data set. So it processes that particular data set and it is going to provide you the results, right? Let us see some of the applications which I have just now discussed. Let us see one by one. So the first is price comparison websites. We may have, I'm going to give you the number of examples: Price Grabber, Price Runner, Jungly, Shopzilla, Deal Time. So these are the different websites through which you can compare the prices. Even nowadays, price comparison websites, it is not only related to a selling of products. You may have this domain implemented in healthcare sector, or may you may say hospitality, automobiles, durables, your technology. In every sector these applications are used, right? Next we have is another application of data sciences are fault and risk detection. Right. Companies were fed up of bad debts and loses every year. You don't know whether to sanction the loan or not. The person is reliable or not. So why don't you use AI enabled system for predicting the person to whom you are giving the loan is reliable, he is able to pay back your loan or not, right? So rather than bearing the losses, it would be beneficial for the company to have the prediction system that is going to provide the prediction, like the person is reliable and you may proceed. So what are the data that is going to be fed into that particular machine? Maybe what is that? The last year's EMIs, the credit card statements, the salary slips. So these are some patterns which we have to have in our data set, so that the machine is able to give you the prediction based on the different factors that are related to that, right? Now, next thing is genetics and genomics. So it is also one of the application, like data science applications are also enabled in this. How, like for personalization treatment, like it we may vary, like a person is given medicine and the other person, the same medicine cannot be prescribed to that particular patient. Why? Because we have some genetic and genomics factors also that are related to that. The goal is to understand the impact of the DNA on our health and find individual biological connection between genetics, diseases and drugs response. So we need the drug response that we give to a particular patient. Data sciences techniques allows integration of different kinds of data with genomic data in disease research, which provides a deeper understanding of genetic issues in reaction to particular drugs and diseases. We may come across some diseases, like this type of drug is going to be harmful for this particular genetic, or you may say some diseases, right? So obviously the advanced risk genetic risk prediction will be a major step towards our individual care. So why don't we have such kind of machines which is already like based on your patterns of your, like based on your past history, the patient history or genetic history, right? We may, the machine is going to predict the diseases and accordingly it prescribes the medicines. Next application of data science is internet search. Now, what is internet search? Let us see some examples. When we talk about search engines, we think Google, right? Yes, most of the people are using Google. Even I used to have only, like, I am using only search engine, that is Google. But there are many other search engines like Yahoo, Bing, Ask, AOL, and so on. All these search engines, including Google, make use of data science algorithms to deliver the best results. What I want to say is, like, if you search result, if you search anything on the, like, any web search engine, it is going to provide, right, what I have seen in Google. Because I am really using Google in that case. Why? It gives you the top 10 results and that are very much related to your question rather than just finding the keywords and giving you the result from the dataset, right? So what Google is doing, it is, there are number of pages. The first page is giving you first top 10 results where most of the people are getting the answer. You do not need not have to proceed to second page for because on the second page we only have the keywords part. Whenever wherever in the data set we find that particular keyword, it is going to provide this could be your result. No, the first 10 results that are provided by Google search engine are very much accurate. You may find like first top 2 may he you will get the result. It is basically searching what the user wants, right? Then is targeted advertising. What is targeted advertising? Like, we have some targets, we have some banners, we have some things, like I like this thing, I am a customer and I like some products. So the machine is going to identify my patterns and accordingly it is suggesting me those things only, those items only. Obviously, for what? Because based on my past pattern, based on my past experience with that particular site, it is going to provide me that type of suggestion itself, right? So this is what, this is one of the application of data science only. Then we have is Amazon.com or any website recommendation. It could be Amazon, it could be Netflix also, it could be Google Play also, right, or LinkedIn also. So what we have in this is basically, like, I have searched yesterday, I have searched for a product, that is I'm searching for watches, digital watches, right? And later on, like today I again visited that particular site, I may be receiving some mails, maybe receiving some messages, maybe receiving, like, while opening any website, these are the things you may like. Even on Facebook also I'm getting those pictures which I viewed last day, which I have viewed last day. So this is what the machine learns from my previous input. It basically have that data, and based on that data, based on my past experience with that particular system, it is going to provide me the recommendations. So this is one of the advantage of AI. So I hope you understood the different applications of AI, and you have understood the different domains, how we have segregated the type of data, and accordingly we have particular domain for that, right? So these are some examples of how we use different applications using different domains. Hope you like the session. Thank you.